Yes, guys, welcome back to the Graft Kings podcast. We are here today in sunny old London in a very exclusive gaff, Coq d'Argent. So a huge love and a huge shout out to those guys for giving us the exclusivity this morning before the venue even opens up. So big love to those guys. You've got the backdrop, and of course, we have got the one and only Stirling Cooper on the pod today.
So good to be here, brother.
I'm fantastic. It's good to be here.
Good to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us on the pod.
Thanks for inviting me, guys. I love London. It's a good excuse to come out again.
Will you come out after, though? That's the question.
I don't know about that. I think you guys got a bit more energy on me.
Oh, it's sunny down in London.
Yeah, sunny down in
It's
London.
bank holiday weekend.
Could get a bit rowdy, I think.
Yeah, rooftops already. It's already started the vibe.
Yeah, man.
Water first, booze is coming in about 5 minutes.
Fair enough.
The beer is slow. It's English tradition.
Soon as well.
Yeah, yeah, it will be. It'll be pumping. So you flew in from Dubai last night, right?
Yep, last night got in.
Amazing. What a pleasure.
It's good. It's a nice quick jaunt, you know.
Yeah, love that,
I
man.
like it.
For the viewers that may not know you, could you just do us a quick intro, who you are, where you're from, foot size, height, all of that? Just get it out of the way, the formality.
What's this wanker doing here? So I'm a retired and I guess you could say repenting star. I retired from that in 2020. I was in the adult entertainment industry in a couple of different capacities for about 8 to 10 years. Worked as a star, worked as an escort for wealthy businesswomen, worked as a topless what do you call, like a butler in the buff here in London, actually, for a little bit too.
Sick.
Yeah, did a whole bunch of really naughty things. And now I teach dudes how to be better in the bedroom. I take all that sort of skill set that I acquired and my nerdy brain, and I use it for the powers of good.
Yeah, good man.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because we work with a brand that actually helps young guys try to stay away from.
Good man. Good.
So I'd be keen to hear your thoughts on that in terms of like how healthy or unhealthy you feel as though it is, how realistic or unrealistic it actually is in comparison to the sets, in compared to real life. Like, since though you worked in the industry for so long, would you advocate guys to watch it or stay away?
I've been telling guys since 2020 stop watching it.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's crazy.
Consistently.
U-turn.
Consistently, yeah. And it's just honesty, man. It's like I'm not gonna like sit there and lie to a bloke because I was getting guys DMing me, you know, like, hey bro, I can't get my dick up, like I'm finishing too soon or whatever, you know. When I first started, when I just made that transition, and I'm like, mate, the first thing you should stop doing is jerking off to porn.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the honest answer. It's the first thing you should stop doing. Like, and that was irrespective of like any sort of like moral argument
All right, okay.
around it. It
I
was just
understand.
like, from a practical level, just jerking it all the time is just screwing with your brain chemistry.
Yeah.
Do you think it's desensitizing men watching it?
Completely. Yeah, totally. It desensitizes you to like the female form. It makes let's say you've got, you know, your girlfriend or your wife, like one chick, right? It makes her less novel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
facts.
makes it harder for the dude to like rise to the occasion.
Yeah, of course.
When it comes, it makes it less exciting. Like a whole host of it. Plus, on top of that, then he has like motivation problems. He has discipline problems.
Yeah, major.
Like, there is a serious issue with like overloading your dopamine circuitry, and that's what does. So the same thing. Same cocaine does similar things.
Nicotine as well. I was reading up
Yeah.
on this the other day. Funny you say that.
Yeah.
That too much dopamine spikes throughout one period of time or throughout in life in general can just ruin other aspects of your life.
Yeah, well, because dopamine's like, it's not like the happy chemical. People think it's like the happy, feel good chemistry. It's not what it does. It's the reward chemical. Like it's designed to like reward you for effort.
Yeah.
So when you're doing something, but your brain doesn't really know like the difference between immediate reward versus delayed gratification.
Yeah.
So it's still giving you the same like chemical response, but you didn't actually do anything.
That's crazy.
You know? It's like, and I think there's a part of you that sort of really knows, like, if you're fapping, like, you didn't earn that chick.
Yeah.
So
True. Yeah.
Like, but if you go out, if you're at the club, you know, doing some game, you're chatting a a and then you pull.
That's a win.
You feel
good,
like a
you
fucking
earned
man.
Yeah.
You earned it,
Right. Yeah. True.
As you know, whether you want to say that's like a degenerate thing or whatever, it's irrespective. You still feel like the fucking man.
Yeah, right.
Whether you did it, you know, like, so there's
do
effort.
you reckon that's why we like the chase? Because when I say chase, like when you actually graft for a woman and you get what you want, rather than a woman that just gives it on a plate, do you reckon it's got some sort of like a combination with that?
Yeah, you put effort. You had to win it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
facts.
It's like in any kind of competition. It's because it's competition. It's sexual competition against
Yeah,
other
of
men.
course.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's the same as like if you were, you know, in a weightlifting competition, if you're in like a playing soccer, like if the other team just let you score the goals, all the time.
Takes the fun out of it.
Tapping.
There'd be no fucking fun. Like,
Yeah, that's right.
no fun at all.
Great analogy.
Yeah, that is a great analogy.
What's like the biggest misconception then that you would say people do on set compared to in the bedroom?
Like all those ridiculous like upside down positions and shit. They feel like shit. They do not feel good. Don't put your woman on her shoulders and do the pile driver. Like no one's enjoying that. You're gonna break your dick. Like
my favourite.
You're gonna snap your cock in half.
You know that feels, didn't you, Mason?
That was not a fun experience. That was not a fun experience.
I knew a guy he was based here in England. And he was in the Fake Taxi, if you know what that is.
They call him John, didn't they?
Well, no, it wasn't John. It wasn't John.
How do you know them on first name basis?
Apparently.
Well, I know who he's talking about. I know the bloke. This was like the female Fake Taxi, so they had a female taxi driver, and then the dude was the passenger in the back. Whatever. It was like the reverse. Anyway, he like fully got his dick snapped in half.
Oh. Damn.
In the back of the Fake Taxi. Yeah. And they put the whole thing up on Pornhub.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a niche for everyone.
Released the whole scene. Yeah. And he doesn't get any workers comp or anything because he's a contractor.
Wow.
So he got paid like a couple £100 or whatever and got his dick broken in half and had to spend like a week in hospital. No,
not insurance.
No, there's no insurance.
Can you do that?
You can individually, but he wasn't like that level. Where
of course,
yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Like I think Kieran Lee has his dick insured.
Yeah,
but yeah, this bloke wasn't at that level.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Joe, what made you transition going from? Do you know what? There's a two-part to this question. One, what made you get into the industry?
Right. Yeah.
Two, then what made you transition out of it to do what you do now?
Get out of it. There's no real like noble answer as to why I got into it. It was just shits and giggles, bro. And like,
fair.
Really?
I'm like, this just look. Well, I'd been running a business for like 3 years prior to that, like grinding my ass off, and we kind of like reached a cap. We were like a food delivery business.
Okay.
And we kind of reached a cap in our city because Western Australia is very isolated. You can't really, ship cold beverages, like food and stuff across the country. So we kind of capped, and I was like, well, the business isn't growing anymore. Like I'm busting my ass. I'm not really like living the lifestyle I want to live.
Yeah.
So I sold the business, and I was like, all right, why was I working my ass off in the first place? What was the intention? I was like, okay, it was to make money. Well, why did I want to make money? And I thought, if I'm really being honest with myself at the time, I wanted to make money so I could travel around the world having sex with beautiful women.
Yeah, fair.
If I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, that's a great why.
And I think that's probably the answer for a lot of guys, honestly, if they're really honest. Really honest. So I was like, well, let's just cut the middleman out and just get paid to do the deed.
How did you get into the industry, though?
I reverse engineered it. So there's a really good book called, this will make sense in a minute when I explain.
Sure.
The book's called Trust Me, I'm Lying, Confessions of a Media Manipulator by Ryan Holiday.
Okay.
And so he used to be the head of marketing for American Apparel.
Okay.
And he was also the head of marketing for a guy called Tucker Max, if you're familiar with who he is. He was old school like guy. He wrote the best-selling book called I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. Yeah. They made a movie out of it. Very controversial figure at the time. And basically this whole book is about like how he reverse engineers like free press and publicity with like big mainstream media outlets by starting off like leaking stories to really small niche microblogs. This is back in like the 1990s.
Right, okay.
Right? When blogging was like a thing. Mm-hmm. And so the whole book sort of reveals this process. And I kind of took that process and reverse engineered it for like, and I'm like, okay, I'll pitch myself to like the tiniest, nichest little like amateur outlet.
Yeah.
And they will give me a shot. And it worked. And then I'll use that as like leverage social proof to go to one who's slightly bigger. Yeah. And then so on and so on and so on. And so I reverse engineered that from like Melbourne, Australia to here in London to Budapest to Prague and then to LA.
Wow.
And I just kind of climbed that chain.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
And if you look at my like YouTube career, I kind of did the exact same thing again, but with just YouTube. So like
we wanted to take some tips here. What do you mean by with YouTube?
Yeah, elaborate for us.
So I went into like my first ever interview. Anytime I ever spoke on YouTube was with Rollo Tomasi and Richard Cooper, and I'd been watching their stuff, and they had been talking about OnlyFans because beginning of 2020. This kind of answers your second question as to like how I got out. Right? Yeah. Industry shut down 2020. When we got back pretty quickly, to be fair, like the adult industry was like the first one to go back because we're like, you're not going to stop us from fucking. Like, they just sort of went straight back into it.
You know what? We had that same ethos.
So everyone was like talking about OnlyFans, because it had become this like kind of household word really quickly at the beginning of 2020. And Rollo Tomasi and Richard Cooper were talking about it. And I just cold pitched them via email the same way I cold pitched like the small directors when I first started doing stuff. Like I'd learned this process. So I cold pitched them. I'm like, hey, I'm on the inside of this industry. I have an understanding of it. I also know what you guys talk about with the red pill. I understand your lingo. I understand that whole concept. I'll come on your show and explain it if you want.
Yeah.
And they had me on.
Sick.
Yeah. And then I leveraged that, you know,
into everything else,
to the next person who was also in the network, and the next person. And these guys are all my friends now.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's not like I'm not trying to say this is like I'm bragging because I, you know, manipulate people or whatever, but it's like, that's just networking.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
exactly
it's networking.
It's networking. It's like, what value can you add to this person? And like, what unique value do you have for this person? Like, where's your in?
Yeah.
You know, and then you can leverage that social proof with their network.
Yeah, sick.
And then you've got a new group of like friends, basically, and you leverage off that and so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
100%.
You know, and that's how I met like Myron and Walter from Fresh and Fit, and the Tates and Justin Waller and so on and so forth.
That's crazy. You've literally networked your way into those circles.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We've done something similar subconsciously.
very.
Yeah, you have.
That wasn't our intention to do that along the way, but then it's just kind of unfolded and happened to be like that, hasn't it?
Yeah. You have to put yourself in those places. You have to reach out to these people, like, and just take a punt.
Yeah. Well, it's also like having like something unique about it. I mean, you guys are 4 like charming blokes, so it's sort of like there's an aura that comes, there's a charisma that comes with that, you know, like that people want to be like, a lot of people, maybe I'm getting like bitter in my old age because I've been doing YouTube for like 4 years or whatever, but like I see certain influencers and I'm like, you're just a dancing monkey.
Yeah.
There's certain influencers that are a dancing monkey, or they'll get on like a podcast and you're just saying things to be like inflammatory.
Right.
You're not actually, I don't think you actually believe what you're saying. You don't have like a gravitas behind it. And then, and there's certain people I've noticed who only like to really associate with people that they actually like
fuck with,
enjoy.
Yeah.
Like they like hanging out with
around,
them. Yeah, they want to be around them. So it's sort of like a big part of networking is just not being a fucking weirdo.
So true.
Not being a weird. Yeah.
Like,
That's a good starting
just
point.
be a bloke you want to be one of the lads. You want to be someone you want to be hanging out with.
Yeah, that's right.
And
With
it's
relatable people, basically.
Yeah. That's a big component of it.
Yeah, we agree, and this is what we preach to all of our boys as well. Like, be the type of guy that you would buy a pint for.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a very British way of saying it.
To the core.
What was that pinnacle moment then that you said, you know what, I need to get out of this industry?
It was kind of a culmination of a few things. Like the year leading up to 2020, there was a few moments in the adult industry that year that were really like man-hating.
Okay.
And like you would say misandrous. So there was like 2 different instances of guys getting accused of sexual assault on set.
Really?
Oh wow. On set.
On set. One big star who'd been in the industry for like 20 years, and then like one director. And luckily in both instances, they had like behind the scenes footage recording of the day to prove that they were these girls were talking out their ass. And we're just trying to destroy this guy's reputation because they didn't like him.
That's crazy.
Wow, man.
And I saw that, and I saw that. It happened twice, and then I saw like, because Twitter is like the social media for where all does interact with each other, right? And I just saw the way that everybody in the industry, or like 90% of people in the industry, were like just piling on these guys.
Turned on them, yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, like, where's the fucking proof?
Yeah,
Hang on a second, it's just an
yeah.
allegation. What's going on here? And turned out, lo and behold, they were completely fucking innocent. And I'm like, and then nobody apologized.
No, of course they weren't.
None of these accusers had their like careers ruined.
Yeah.
They just went on.
The repercussion isn't like high enough. I'd say it's
Crazy.
has to be the same as
Yeah.
someone doing it to accusing you.
But so there was that, and then there was also like, because the industry is very feminist, and that might see that takes a lot of people by surprise. But all the women consider themselves feminists.
Right.
All of them.
Right. Okay.
Modern day feminism.
Very much so. Like it's liberating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the way they would argue it, I guess. But with that comes a large degree of like man hate.
Yeah.
And I would go to like the AVN Awards and I'd see like these women would be sitting there, you know, tits out, like signing DVDs for their fans and stuff. And then I'd hear the way they'd talk about their fans behind their backs.
Derogatory.
I'm like, they hate these men. Like they absolutely hate them.
They judge them for watching it. Or...
Yeah, they like they're disgusted by them. They think they're losers. They're just like, but they're happy to just take their money and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, this is a really
backwards industry.
I hate using the word, but it's a toxic industry.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
And then on top of that, I started to learn more about the effects that having on young men.
Yeah.
You know, like porn-induced erectile dysfunction is this like new thing that has been affecting like young blokes, and I'm like, okay, this is not this is not good. Like,
Yeah.
the reasons I got into this for shits and giggles. Don't pretend I got into it like change the world or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I need to sort of find a way out of this. And 2020 just sort of was this perfect storm.
Yeah.
You know, and it was
Just
like,
felt right.
it felt right. It was like, yeah, time to go. Like, get out of this thing. And then, yeah, since then, every time anyone's asked me, I'm just like, stop watching.
Yeah, straight up.
You know?
Good. Yeah, it's not
It's
good.
simple, like-
I agree, 100%.
Talking of like modern day feminism though, like do you think in comparison to how it used to be, do you reckon that's kind of what's ruining our society a little bit when it comes to relationships or?
You've created this, not you personally, sorry, but we've created this dynamic of like combatism, like where, I mean, what you would call like, people will look at something like the red pill movement or manosphere movement or whatever you want to call it, and say it's like reactionary to feminism. Like feminism produced that because you got all these guys who are like being told they're pieces of shit and that men are the worst and every man's a rapist and all this stuff, and then guys are like, screw you, like
Yeah, facts.
no, I'm
yeah.
not, like,
Yeah.
you know, and then in trying to be better with women, they're uncovering like some rather unflattering truths about female nature, and then it has ended up with this very kind of what seemed from an outsider perspective, it looks like a very battle of the sexes type scenario,
Yeah.
right?
That's what it's become, yeah.
And the thing is, like, you're never gonna like change women by being butthurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's never gonna happen. The only thing I have ever seen, like, make a good woman, like take a woman who's maybe on the wrong path and set her straight, you know, like that will make her more feminine, make
Yeah.
her more like lovely to be around.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
less combative, less in her
I bet I
masculine.
know what you're going to say.
The only thing that I've ever seen do that is love for a man that she's obsessed with.
Yeah,
like,
facts. I was
like
about to say.
if she's absolutely head over heels into a guy
Yeah.
and he
Treats her so,
puts
yeah.
his foot down
Yeah.
and says,
yeah.
no, this is the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
She falls in a line. Cool, no problem. There's no objections there. Like, all the feminism just disappears.
Yeah, straight
All
away.
of a sudden.
I had this conversation
Like-
yesterday. It's crazy you said that literally yesterday. But the argument she had was, I think women need to love men more than the other way around.
I would completely agree with that.
Really?
Yes,
Facts.
completely
Yeah,
agree.
facts.
Yeah, because it's always a power dynamic. Like, every interaction between two humans, there's a power dynamic, right? And so you want the man to be leading the relationship,
That's what I said, yeah.
and
I
and
agree.
women want the man to be leading.
I
Yeah,
agree.
of course.
Like, even if whether they'll admit that logically or not, subconsciously they want that. They don't want to be in charge.
Do you know what I think the problem with that is? Just nowadays, when we talk about leading, when we talk about a man being masculine, it's deemed toxic. So people don't know how to differentiate like what a man's doing that is actually leading and what a man is
facts.
doing that is actually toxicity.
Or controlling.
And be able to control and whatever, manipulative,
Yeah,
whatever
well-
it is, and be able to separate the both.
The first thing you have to do is just not give a fuck what other people think.
Yeah.
Because the people using those words like controlling,
Yeah.
toxic, manipulative, they don't have your best interests at heart. They're not trying to. Anyone who says that to you is not trying to give you a happy, healthy relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just trying to.
Regurgitating
They're,
what they hear.
they're regurgitating some bullshit they've heard.
Yep.
And
Buzzwords.
yeah, exactly. Or in the worst case scenario, they're trying to actually sabotage your situation.
Yeah.
You know.
Consciously or subconsciously.
Yeah. So the first thing,
Yeah.
like, well, people do that out of spite.
Yeah,
Like,
facts.
people will do that, like it's very subconscious. When people see someone who's in a better position than they are, that they're happy and they're happy, they're successful, they're not fat,
crazy.
like, you know, they get bitter and angry at it, and they lash out, you know, in all these different ways.
You see that a lot in girls' relationships. They'll do that to their friend.
Yeah.
Oh, he's controlling you.
Yes.
And she'll be in their friend's
Oh,
ear,
yeah.
and then it can fuck your whole relationship up.
Because they're jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's jealous of the fact that her friend has a good guy.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I can't get one, so fuck her.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'll ruin it for her.
That's crazy, that.
Well, it's about like. It's really the ideology of like egalitarianism, where you want to try and the only way you can make people equal is by bringing people down. You have to bring the successful people down to the average common denominator level. Then everyone's equal,
Yeah.
right? And that's why, like, if you look into this a bit psychologically, like things like communism, things that are like, you know, egalitarianism is actually a very feminine ideology.
Yeah.
Because masculine ideologies are about like hierarchy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And competency hierarchy.
Yeah.
The most successful, the strongest guy is like at the front of the pack. You know, like the guy who's the most competent in this particular skill set, whatever, he's in charge, right? Whereas the feminine is all about like let's divide the duties and responsibilities like equally amongst everybody. And so when you look at it from like a societal level, also, you know, policy-wise and everything, and psychologically, it's the feminine mentality seeping into culture.
Yeah, I can see that. There's a saying, it says, never argue with an idiot because they'll bring you down to their level and beat you with experience.
Right?
It's true, though, isn't it?
so true.
Don't forget, they're having these idiotic conversations all the time, gossiping conversations all the time in their pubs, their bars, or their salons, wherever it is. So they're used to having these arguments. So then you're not going to beat someone that's... Because you've got... First of all, they're too thick to have an argument, like an intellectual argument with you anyway. So just beat you on experience of just arguing. So there's no point in having
the problem with those types of people are, though, is the fact is, like, let's just say we have a difference of opinion, we don't agree, but I will listen to your point, and maybe that might change mine. Where with an idiot, like, they're so kind of
hell-bent.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, no matter what you say with logic, you won't be able to beat them because they're just
so narrow-minded. Yeah,
Exactly.
so narrow-minded. They're too narrow-minded to believe that anybody else can be right, but they're
Ignorance,
rather.
Well, it's kind of funny. The people who are deemed like toxic and such, people who are very, very right wing, right?
Yeah.
They're actually the people who are the most empathetic. They're actually the ones who will sit there and listen to someone who disagrees with them.
I agree.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
But the people who would say label themselves as like the empathetic left-leaning liberal, you know, liberals of society, they could not articulate like a right-wing person's
never.
philosophy.
Yeah, never.
You know, like it's like take
See it
like,
all the time in the debates.
yeah,
don't you?
like take a person who like identifies as like literally a communist, whatever, and then sit them down and try to get them to like elaborate Donald Trump's like philosophy on life. They'll give you a completely batshit crazy answer because they can't empathize with that with someone who's not them. You know, but the other way around, you could get a pretty accurate answer out of them.
Yeah. And
Really
they'll
good way
listen.
of looking at it.
It's really good. And
I
they'll
wonder,
listen.
I wonder where that comes from, though. Do you reckon it's just a lack of like almost
Intelligence
or confidence in yourself? Because I could listen to someone that completely disagrees with me, and I'll still listen to them, and I still feel secure about myself having my own opinion about it.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it comes from that?
I think it comes back to what I said before about that innate jealousy.
Yeah.
Like that innate bitterness of seeing somebody who's happier than you, less dysfunctional than you, more successful than you, and it's just a projection lashing out.
Yes, right.
You know,
They don't like the fact that you're far more competent than they are.
That's a good point, right? Like the idea of like admitting that you were wrong about something, admitting that you know you don't know all the answers, right? It's actually a humble trait.
Yeah.
You have to. Every person I know who's incredibly successful is actually really humble.
Yeah.
But they've got
They're
less,
willing to learn.
Yeah, they've got less arrogance than a normie. Like
Crazy.
because they have to be able to admit they're wrong.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can't like
Progress.
my friend Justin Waller has a really good saying. It's like I don't need to be right. I just want to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Which is totally true. Like it's
So
like,
good, yeah.
if you've got someone on your team or a friend or an associate who comes to you and is like, "Hey, you're probably wrong about this thing." It's like, really?
Tell me
on,
why,
Tell me
yeah.
why. Tell me
Yeah.
why. So I can correct and move forward. You know. And I think people talk about like the whole COVID thing and like what was the deciding factor between like the people who took the jab and people who didn't, right? People who resisted the idea and people who just fell into line. And I think it's the ability to admit that you're wrong.
Yeah, wow.
That's so true, yeah.
Because if you couldn't admit, because most people, even the ones who eventually resisted, right, they might have believed it at the very beginning.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, we all did,
right?
I think.
We all did.
But then at a certain point, I was like, oh no, I was wrong.
Yeah.
No, I was wrong.
I was like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I got manipulated.
But I think that's also people have their lack of ability to think for themselves. They like to be told.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those two things go hand in hand. The ability to like think critically.
That's it, critical thinking. People lack that nowadays. A lot.
But again, it ties into being humble, right? You have to be able to admit you're wrong.
Well, you look at all the UFC fighters. They're the most humble people on earth.
Ever,
They
yeah.
are the toughest motherfuckers on the planet.
Yeah.
And they're the most humble guys you'd ever speak to.
Yeah. I was watching the other day, one of the, I can't remember his name now, it's like three-time heavyweight champion. He said, I avoid conflict at all costs. He's like, in the ring, I'll kill you. He's like, but outside the ring, he went, I will never, ever throw hands. He's like,
Because he'll probably kill you.
yeah, but he's just like, I just don't see the need for it. He's like, I just don't see the need as to why people feel like they need to fight in the street. He's like, I just don't get it. He's like, I will humbly, even if I know I can kill the guy, I'll walk away because I don't care. He's like, I'm just not interested in that stuff. And that's what you find with a lot of intelligent people. It's like, when it comes to then talking to someone who's less competent, they're like, do you know what? I'm not even going to bother because you are so ignorant to the fact that you are ignorant that I'm not going to get anywhere in this conversation, so I'm not even going to bother. Do you know what I mean?
That's also impulse control too. Like the bloke who just lashes out in like a bar fight or something. He's got
control of their
He's got no
emotions.
impulse control, right?
Yeah.
A fighter has to have impulse control. Because what's the natural human instinct for a fist coming at you?
Yeah.
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 That's the natural instinct, not
Yeah. Or take it.
keeping your eyes on the guy. Like, that's not natural, you know.
Yeah.
So you've got to fight your impulses.
Yeah.
To
True.
be successful in that sport or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Which naturally makes sense that like he's not going to get into as many altercations and scuffs.
Do you think impulses ties in with emotional intelligence?
Ooh.
The reason why I asked that is because I feel like a lot of people react on impulses because they're not in touch with their emotions. No, they're too in touch with their emotions and they don't know how to control them.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, the idea that you're not in control of your emotions, so you let them just lead you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is completely correct. Yeah, a lack of impulse control is
Lack of
means
emotional
you don't have
intelligence.
emotional control,
Emotional control, yeah.
which you would need emotional intelligence to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that level of man, right? Talking about the guys who're saying about the toughest guy in the pack or the most competent guy in the pack, etc. From your experience of all these women over the years and all the encounters that you've had, do you feel as though, let's take it in today's day and age, that women are more attracted to the actual status and aura of a man, or do you feel as though they're more attracted to like the monetary side of things and that side of stuff?
All status ties in with monetary. Sorry,
Not
to answer
necessarily.
Well, status beats all of it.
Yeah.
Status trumps everything, right? If you could sit down and list off a bunch of characteristics that are attractive to women, you know, maybe it's being tall, being like having a chiseled jawline, like having
Well-mannered, polite.
being well manicured,
Yeah.
right? Being polite,
yeah.
being social, being charismatic. Like you could just list a million things, right?
Yeah.
The thing that is at the very top of that list is status.
Right.
It's social proof. It's the top of the list.
Yeah.
Because it trumps all of them. Now, money can help you get it, but there's loads of dudes who have a bunch of money who have zero status.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Like, you go to any club. And
They got no aura.
Yeah, exactly.
We've
None at
spoken
all.
about this a lot, yeah.
Well, that's also like no aura is. I would probably call that no charisma, right?
Yeah.
But even then, like status will still trump no charisma.
Yeah, facts.
Like you look at ugly motherfuckers in Hollywood. Like
But
they're
they've
all
got-
they
yeah.
like
They've got
you look
status.
at here's a really great example. Look at roadies.
Who?
A road, you know what a roadie is? A roadie is like a dude who comes along with a rock band and like sets up the speakers and guitars and shit.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's a guy who travels with the band
Yeah.
and takes care of all their musical equipment.
Right, okay.
Roadies get laid by the band's groupies
That's
Why?
crazy.
because they're associated
Yeah.
with they're adjacent to the guy who has the most status.
Look at
Wow,
Taylor
okay.
getting
Yeah,
all
look-
hung
yeah.
out.
I was just about to say, Taylor.
Like, he's
He's still shagging men, bro.
fuck's sake.
I'm joking. Sorry, Taylor. We love you.
Bro's not even here, he's catching strays.
Oh, yeah, go on. Sorry, carry on.
No, that's it. I'm just saying, it's the same.
Well, it's kind of so we've had a new member join the Graft Kings in the last 4 or 5 months, and ever since he's been associated with us, I'm not trying to take,
No, say it as it is. You listen, Taylor, because you listen well.
but he's now like pulling absolute rockets. He's in all these different circles and stuff, and it's nice to see. Like it's like a big brother moment where you look at him like, this is the fucking bollocks. I'm glad.
Taylor,
this
can you
happened
write thank you into the comments, please, mate? Someone pin it.
No, but it's true what you say. When the association goes a long way sometimes.
Yeah, status rubs off.
Yeah, of course.
know?
It's spot on.
Sorry, go on.
I was just saying, hold that thought. What I was going to say is this whole social proofing thing. Do you reckon the psychology works as well as men? We've had this conversation before, and this is our thought process, but I just want to see your take on it. You know, when men are desired by loads of women, even though they may not be attractive, why does that influence other women to fancy that man more?
That's pre-selection. It's just like women have to outsource like a lot of their decision making about who is attractive. Because think about it from a woman's perspective, right? She has to make sure her goal is to make sure that guy is going to stick around and or have the resources to provide for a child.
Yep.
Like we're talking like
Instincts, yeah.
we're talking like caveman instincts, right?
Tech provide, yeah.
Right. So, what is like? There's a million different factors that contribute to like that, like whether or not he will stick around and whether or not he can provide and take care of her and protect her. Right. There's all these different factors. She doesn't have like for her to determine all of those things about a guy would take quite a lot of time. However, it's much faster to figure out all those things if every other woman agrees.
Yeah.
He's
That he's
that guy. Yeah.
If
yeah,
every other
facts.
woman is already trying to jump in his pants, okay, then he must have all these.
I like
Yeah,
it.
so true.
attributes.
What a way to explain it.
So
That's such a good way of
it
explaining it.
fast tracks that decision making
Yeah,
process,
yeah.
and this is all subconscious. This is instinctual. This is not like she's not logically thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, like all these other women in the club want to suck his dick. I'll suck his dick. Like they're not. She's not thinking that, but it's just an innate feeling that comes through. Yeah. That's how
Natural instinct.
social proof works.
Yeah, mate, that's great way of breaking it down.
So is that why you feel as though even though a guy might have a reputation for bedding loads of women, he's still able to attract all the good women because
Doesn't turn him off.
Yeah, it doesn't turn him off. Why? Because of that, I suppose.
I get this a lot. Like I get so many like, and I'm not trying to hate on Christians, but it's always Christians on Twitter or on YouTube comments who will say things to me like, "You'll never like get a good woman because you were a degenerate, whatever."
We hear this all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, you hear the same thing. All my buddies hear the same thing.
Yeah.
Hang around with all the degenerates, apparently.
Apparently, it's the way forward.
But that, well, for a start, my lady is quite nice and quite, prim and proper, and the complete opposite of what you would think I would attract.
Yeah,
if you
fair.
If you were that way thinking, right?
Yeah.
But irrespective of that, women are not innately attracted to morality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Women are not innately attracted to like honor and justice and virtue. None of those things are like innately attractive to a woman. They don't, like, on the surface of them, like, you can be those things.
Yeah, sure.
But there's other things about you that she's actually attracted to.
Okay.
Now, here's the kicker to that, right?
Right.
Those things that, like, let's say morality and justice and virtue and honor, right? What that does, though, is it gives you status amongst other men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts. Yeah,
Because other men respect those things, right? If we have honor amongst brothers, you will. This is exactly what happened to your friend. You just said, right?
Yeah.
You will sort him into your hierarchy and kind of put him on a pedestal a bit.
Yeah.
And then women observe that
Wow.
as a third party observer and see, oh, he has status amongst men, therefore he
I
is
respect him
attractive.
too. Yeah. So if they
right way to
respect
put
him,
it.
I respect him.
Yes. So
Yeah,
it's not there's nothing innately attractive about like two women about morality and honor.
Yeah.
It's just by the virtue of the fact that men put those men on a pedestal.
Wow,
Yeah.
crazy.
And now
That's a good way to say it.
this kind of ties into like the decline of like Western society because we don't build statues to like dudes who did great things anymore,
Yeah.
right? We don't put those people on a pedestal anymore. Who do we put on a pedestal? Like rappers,
Yeah.
gangsters, right?
Very true.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So if men amongst themselves, amongst their society, are not putting honorable men on a pedestal, well, then those men are going to have less like
Status.
options,
Yeah.
or less status, and then less options for women.
So true.
That's
Bloody
crazy.
hell, yeah.
It's
What-
nicely put though. That's
Yeah.
makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think men need to sleep around and get it out of their system, or do you think that's like a lack of self-control?
That's a good question. So there's two questions there that I'm going to answer. So the first one is, do they need to like sleep around with a bunch of women? I think it takes different guys a different level of experience to like get it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like some guys will get it on their foot with their first girlfriend, maybe because their dad teaches them about women, or they've got a good group of friends, or I don't know. There's some external factor that makes them like just understand women on a fundamental level much faster. It took me a lot.
Really?
it took me a few digits.
Oh,
like,
me too.
To like, oh, now I get it.
Me too.
Like, and the other guys, they do it in like a couple of girlfriends, 5 girlfriends, 10 we know. I think with every guy, it takes a different level for them to actually get to a point where they fundamentally understand female nature and then cannot be manipulated by it.
Wow. Okay.
Which is good for the woman because she's with a guy who understands her and can lead her.
Do you think that we need to figure that out through, or learn it through our fathers or mothers? Because I grew up around 7 women. I feel like I understand women because of that.
Right.
So to me, that's why I feel like I understand the woman brain quite a fair bit. Maybe because I grew up a little bit feminine as well when I was younger. Or do you think that's something that needs to be learnt from my fathers?
Well, or you could another way that you could have turned out was you could have been like in the longhouse your whole life. You could have been, subject to like female manipulation without a strong male role model.
Right.
And been completely clueless. So you could have turned out a completely different way.
I agree.
Right. So I think you got to learn this stuff from other men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense. Doesn't
Yeah.
it?
To be fair, that's probably right, because the more I was around other men, then I just understood maybe some traits I had wasn't quite right.
Yeah.
So it makes sense,
yeah.
because I started comparing like, why did I feel like this? But they're not reacting to it like this, and you just start comparing, being open to it. So that makes perfect
Now,
sense.
this other thing you said there, like this idea that like guys who sleep around a lot lack self-control or lack discipline or lack willpower. This is an argument that I find is absolutely batshit crazy, and it's hilarious because it doesn't take willpower to do nothing.
Yeah.
Bear with me for a second, right?
Yeah.
To not get laid, you do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing in the world for a man to not have sex.
Yeah.
You just don't do anything.
It's
That doesn't
difficult for
require
men.
willpower. That doesn't require any self-control or anything, right? But to actually seduce a woman, you have to go do things.
Yeah.
Got a graft.
It takes willpower. It takes
Right.
discipline to actually seduce a woman.
And I'll take it that's because you have to get yourself to a certain level of status.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you have to build up your charisma, you have to go out of your comfort zone, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But like the idea that blokes who sleep around a lot, they sleep around because they don't have willpower, is completely nonsensical.
Wow. Okay.
Like if a dude who slept around a lot didn't want to get laid, he would just do nothing.
Yeah,
So
that's
true.
right.
Yeah, great way of looking at it.
So
Like women aren't jumping. Like even you guys when you're out at a club, like
No, they do.
yeah, but you still have to do something.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
you
yeah,
have to turn up.
I'm only
Yeah.
joking. You're completely right.
You have to create an aura between your
I
bros.
completely
Yeah, so
agree.
true.
You still
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
do something.
I agree.
and that's actually crazy because when we going back a little bit earlier to when you said about a guy can have loads of money and have no aura and have no status still, right? We found it many times, and we've said it many times, that like even if we're in a club or we're at a bar or whatever, where us boys have so much fun amongst ourselves, it naturally brings women towards
Correct.
us. And like I've had girls say to me and say to the boys, like, you boys seem like so much fun. We've stood over there, and girls have said, "What are you boys laughing at? Like, what are you got?" And we're like, "Just taking the piss out of each other, taking the piss out of everyone else." Like, they naturally want to then come over. Like they gravitate. And we've been out in tables. We won't say names, but we've been amongst footballers and people who've got a lot of money, and you'd think a lot of status. And yet our table's flooded with women, and their tables aren't.
Well, it's also because everyone's paying attention to you,
Right.
which is status.
Yeah, facts.
Why are like people that are on the TV celebrities? Because everybody is looking at them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Why is the person on stage like singing a rock concert, or the person on stage giving a speech? Why is that person attractive? Because everybody is looking at them.
So true.
Yeah, wow.
So when you're in the club, even if there's a football player on this next table, when you're in the club having the most fun, making the most noise, everybody's looking at you,
Yeah,
not
wow.
the other dickhead.
Because
Right?
we even have guys. We've had so many guys approach us, like other groups of fellas, and they say, like, want to come over and say hi. Like, you guys seem like a great vibe. Hey, boys, like, all the time, all the time. Guys come over and say hello. Like, I remember one distinct memory I have is when we was in Bali, and we was at what was that Stackard beach club we built after we'd done the mountain climb.
In
Kea or whatever it is.
in Ubud.
In Ubud. So basically, it was just like this like great pool party, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And we had about, I think there was 14 or 12 of our right side members, which is our community members with us. And there was no girls there. It was literally just us boys drinking, having a laugh, like chatting away. And the amount of guys that came down and said hello. And I remember this one guy came down and was like, "Who are you guys?" And we were like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Who are you guys?" He's like, "You guys just you have got great energy. It's just all you boys here. It's like it's quite rare to see." We're like, "We're no one, bro. We're just like normal fellas." And then that was started having a chat and saying, "Oh, these boys are actually part of our community." And it went on, and that was kind of where the penny dropped for me a little bit. And I was like, "Wow, okay, like that is all about aura. That is all about just if you have the right energy." Like you say, people look at you and then they naturally will then just gravitate towards you. And I do feel as though in today's day and age, that is what a lot of guys lack naturally.
Well, it's easy to do when you're in a group like this.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
When you're with your, that's tribal.
Yeah.
This is why, like, when like a rugby team goes on tour, they're having so much fun.
Yeah.
And when they hit the pub afterwards, they get laid.
Yeah.
Because they're just bringing the fun. They're having so much
bringing the
fun.
aura,
They're
yeah.
having fun, and because you feel invincible
Yeah.
when you're with your boys.
So true.
Like nothing can touch you.
Yeah.
Right?
We preach this.
What does that project? That projects strength.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
projects
Yeah.
confidence. It projects all these very attractive traits
Yeah.
to the rest of the world.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Like just by having people that you know, like, trust, and
Yeah, yeah.
respect around you.
Yeah.
You know, because even though you guys are taking the piss out of each other all the time, like you still respect each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Facts.
And
yeah.
everyone else can see that. You know, whether it's conscious or unconscious, they can observe that. You know.
We say that though, men need to be around other men. Like
Yeah.
people fall into relationships, and by all means, like your situation changes. You need to compromise on how much time you spend with your mates to a woman. But we always say you need like man time to have that like kind of masculine side of you, because those are the traits that she fell in love with you in the first place for anyway.
Completely.
So why would you want to get completely rid of that?
Yeah.
I find it bizarre when men just are always around their women. But that's when I find men become quite soft.
Yeah,
and
proper.
men become very feminine, is when they're always constantly around that.
Yeah.
But my question is like, nowadays women are more masculine than they've ever been. But do you think women they tend to, they obviously, we said we want a man that leads, and naturally that's what women want. But do you reckon women are their most happiest when they submit to a man?
Completely. Yeah. When they submit to a man, they respect.
Yeah.
That's they won't submit unless they respect.
Right.
Right. So you have to be able to garner her respect in the first place. It's no good like walking around being like, "Submit to me, woman." Like,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Why should I?
why?
Yeah. That's
Like,
it, yeah.
give you a reason.
Yeah.
Because they won't. Like, it's not. They're not going to by default respect men right now. in the society we live in.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
that was the like
60
rewind
years
rewind
ago,
the clock
80 years
100 years. Okay, like society was different, and like you kind of had everyone had like a pre-packaged like like homemade housewife ready for them straight out of the womb. You know what I mean? Like it's very different now. Like because society does not put like any shame or societal really behavioral like shame on anything a woman does anymore.
Yeah, so true.
So they like when women are left to their own devices, what happens? They all apparently they all turn into like online prostitutes.
Yeah.
That's what's happened. Like
Yeah, I hear that.
You give
Well,
women.
he's not wrong.
You
Yeah.
give women free speech. You give women the vote. You give women like choice to do
Here
whatever
we
they
go,
want.
here we
Whatever
go,
they
wrap
want.
in.
What happens? We get OnlyFans. Like,
Yeah, so true.
Oh boy,
Yeah, we're
we're
cooking.
back. We're back.
We're
We're back.
cooking. Yeah, no, true.
You can't tell me I'm wrong.
No, not at all.
We're not
Not at
arguing.
all. Suze, would you agree?
Lady in
There you
the
go,
room
see?
agrees.
There you go. Here's a cool question. So,
Are you going to say something controversial? Because I've got a
no, yeah, go on. No, go
Let me-
for it.
let
Yeah,
me
I can
do
come
something
back to this. Yeah, I can go back to
Right,
this.
so a question that we've never asked someone on a pod, but we have conversations between ourselves. But you're quite intelligent on this subject and quite clued up on it, should I say? Why are men naturally? I won't say naturally, but why are men more attracted to youthful women? Is it biology or is it society?
It's 100% biology. And I'll give you a couple of really concrete examples, actually. I've just finished, I'm halfway through reading a book exactly on this topic. So the reason why, let's take the really, the idea of like youth, like, that's actually pretty easy to explain. Like men are naturally biologically attracted to it's characteristics of peak fertility, actually. It's not characteristics of youth.
Okay.
Because this is why teenage boys are actually more like prepubescent boys will be more kind of like guys who are just hitting like 15 or whatever are probably more likely to be attracted to like the girls who are like in their 20s than the girls their own age. Right? Like the MILFs are actually attractive to like guys in their like early teenage years, right? Because that woman is actually fertile.
Yeah.
She can have a baby, right? But his peers at his own age aren't.
Yeah.
Right? Then when a guy gets a little bit older, like the peak fertility for women is like that range of like 18, 21. That's peak fertility, somewhere around there anyway.
So you think it's biology?
It's like that the youth thing, 100% biology. And I'll go even further. You look at why is long hair attractive?
I've got a thing for women's hair.
Why do women get extensions to make their hair look longer, right?
Longer,
but why is that attractive? It's attractive because it's an honest, before they invented extensions, long hair is an honest signal of youth. If you can't have beautiful long hair and be unhealthy and old, basically. When women get older, the ends of their hair will start to fray and become fragile. Like it's a clear, honest signal of health and youth. The same goes for the other really interesting insight in this book is blue eyes. So the reason why, and this is across every culture, like women with blue eyes are deemed attractive. Actually, and so are men, to be totally fair. But the reason for it, likewise. But the reason for it is you can. It's to do with like pupil dilation.
Right.
So when you like somebody, your pupils dilate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's actually much easier to perceive pupil dilation with a blue iris than with like a darker iris. Is it iris? Yeah. Like the iris, the color part. Yeah. So when like the black on the blue, it's more noticeable, the pupil dilation, than like hazel or brown.
Right.
So both men and women with blue eyes are perceived universally as being more attractive because you can tell if they like you easier.
Wow. Okay.
It's crazy, this stuff.
What's this book? Sorry.
The book is called Why Beautiful People Have More Daughters.
Okay.
That's a cool title.
Yeah, I haven't actually got to that chapter yet, so I'm super excited to read like why that is.
So sorry to sidestep a bit. Do you read books or do you listen to audiobooks?
This one I'm reading.
Okay.
I like to listen to audiobooks wherever I can when I'm driving.
Yeah.
This
same,
one I couldn't get on audiobooks, so I had to read it.
Right,
So I read it when I'm in the sauna.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Going back to something you said earlier, and especially from your life experience as well, do you believe in monogamy?
Keep going.
No, that's basically the essence question, because I think definitely some of the boys think differently about this, and we talk about it quite a lot. Like, do you feel as though, well, not even do you feel as though, do you believe in eventually finding monogamy, or do you believe that a man sometimes has to kind of, listen, the old saying, if you don't want a steak every day, every now and again you want to have a greasy burger, right? But Like, I do believe in it eventually. I do believe that eventually, once you commit to your wife and your woman, that you should stick to her and that's it. But there's a lot of controversy around that in today's world.
I mean, it's foolish to think that monogamy is like biological, because it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Like
literally what I was about to say.
it's a cultural practice, but it's like, so it's a decision.
Yeah.
Like monogamy is a decision that men make.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like a natural innate thing. Because even if you do still love your woman, you're still going to look at a pretty woman when she walks past you.
Yeah,
of course.
sure.
You're going to be attracted to it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's innate to be like, well, polygamous, but you know what I mean. It's innate to be attracted to every attractive woman.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a conscious decision you have. If you want to be monogamous, it's a conscious decision you're going to have to make as a man.
Yeah.
You know? It's much easier for women to be monogamous to a man that they are truly in love with. It's actually incredibly easy for a woman
Why is that?
to be monogamous. Because there's no one better than you.
Yeah. Makes sense.
She can only get pregnant. She can only get pregnant by one man at a time. So it better be the best one, which is the one she's in love with.
Okay.
So there's no biological reason for her to be in love with multiple men at the same time.
I feel it's
Wow.
a hormonal thing.
Like, how do you mean?
As in, so like obviously, when it comes down to biology and hormonal, like we release testosterone, so we naturally want to, especially when you're highest, like you want to look at more women, you want to sleep around. Where for women, they don't naturally hold tests. They have
They do, but not as
well,
the
not
same
much,
level.
yeah.
But when they sleep with a man, they release oxytocin, so it's more like a loving type of nurturing hormone.
It's the bonding hormone.
So
Orgasm produces oxytocin,
That's
which
it,
causes
yeah.
the pair bond. But I mean, when you inject women with exogenous testosterone, like female bodybuilders, they become rabidly horny.
Really?
Rabidly horny.
horny.
Like unstoppably horny.
Because they've already got a baseline of tests, but it's massively lower.
It's
than
like
ours.
what I think it's like 10 times less, or maybe like even more than that, less than what we have.
Wow.
So like, when female bodybuilders inject tests, they become
I never knew.
crazily
Off the
rabid.
charts.
Yeah, off the charts. So,
So scouting women.
so testosterone it plays a massive part in this, yes.
Yeah, cool.
But the idea is like, but it's also the basic biological fact that you can impregnate however many women you can sleep with,
Yeah.
right? So there's nothing like your biology is designed around like procreate, like
Yeah,
impregnate
course.
as many fertile women as possible.
I suppose that was the idea. With the idea of our biological makeup back in the day, like thousands and thousands of years ago. It was
Yeah.
like, just get that's how procreation works, and that's how you populate the world, right?
And you know what's funny is that there's actually like the only example. So like one man, multiple women, right? There are countless examples of this throughout history, right? With kings, with emperors, sultans, whatever. Right? And this idea of like a pretty strictly monogamous society. To say that we live in a monogamous society right now is actually kind of delusional, because we live in a society of like soft polygamy.
Yeah.
Because everyone like
So true.
because no one's like staying with the first person they sleep with.
Yeah, it's so true.
Right?
And, like,
So even
yeah,
okay, like it's like goes from situationship to situationship to situationship. You're still there's still multiple partners. There's still
Yeah.
soft
So true.
polygamy, right? Even if they might all be happening at the same time,
Yeah.
but you're still with multiple partners, right? It's not like one person for your whole life,
true.
right? So there's that. But there's all the examples of the reverse of that. I believe you'd call it polyandry, where it's like one woman with multiple men.
Right.
And again, this is in this book I'm reading. The examples are when paternity is kind of related. So I think there's at least one African tribe they studied where it was like one woman and she's married to a bunch of brothers.
Bloody hell.
Interesting.
And that only works because there's still a paternal investment. Like if my brother gets her pregnant, then I'm the uncle. It's my nephew. It's still biologically related to me.
Right. Okay.
But if they're not but polyandry doesn't work if the men aren't related to each other. It's kind of crazy.
That's a crazy concept.
Yeah, but polygamy, like the other way around, right? One man, multiple women, has worked in multiple societies across
The world. Yeah.
history, and it tends to our societies lean toward polygamy, which is what's happening now. They lean more towards polygamy when resources are unevenly distributed. So when you have a few people who are like uber wealthy and the average, like there's no middle class, like the
Yeah.
average people are getting like just eating shit. What do women do? Their women's natural innate response to that environment
Go to the man at the top.
is to go to the guys at the top and share him.
Yeah.
And this happens throughout history.
Oh, there's a good question for you then, because we say this a lot. Do you believe the 80-20 rule exists? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like it's a bit misquoted a lot of the time. And I'm probably going to misquote it now too. But it's not that 80% of men are sleeping. Sorry, it's not that 20% of men are sleeping with 80% of women.
Yeah,
it's that like the 80% of women only find 20% of men like attractive on dating apps and things like that.
Okay, cool.
Like it skews that
Fine.
way. Doesn't mean that all these women are sleeping with 20% of the dudes.
Yeah.
That's not what's happening. Yeah, they're just attracted. That like these guys are the most attractive ones.
But when you say the same pool of men are sleeping with all of the women, if you get what I'm saying, not all of the women, but like
Well then
the top percentile.
they're
of
not.
women.
They're not. No, because there's plenty of people who are in monogamous relationships. You know, but they are still deemed to be on like dating apps and things. They're still deemed to be like 20% of men are deemed attractive.
Right, okay.
Like, and 80% of men are basically deemed undateable.
Invisible.
Yeah, effectively.
I think that's just because and this is what we try and preach to all of our boys, right? Whether it's via all our channels or via our community and stuff, and Elliot White said it really, really well. He's like, if everyone was to up their levels, if men were to up their levels, if women were to up their standards, then everyone else would have no fucking choice but to then up their levels in order to get that level of person. And like for saying that, in the fact that pretty much 80% of men are pretty much invisible in today's day and age, is because they're normally lazy fucks and they don't want to do anything.
It's also like women set the standard for what they'll like.
Yeah,
women create the men like that they sleep with.
Yeah.
You know, like you wouldn't like dudes wouldn't be running around being like degenerate assholes if it didn't get them laid. Like guys will do whatever gets them laid, basically, right? So if women only slept with the most honorable, righteous men, then dudes would be super
Righteous,
honorable
honorable men.
They would
Yeah.
appeal to that standard.
Yeah.
You know, so the standard is with women. It's just that they're not doing it consciously.
So,
They're just reacting instinctually. Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. I suppose. Yeah, that's great. It makes total sense. Like I say, because everything that we do, as well as obviously wanting to have the money and to be able to live the life and provide and stuff like that, everything we do, like I was saying earlier on, we dress nicely, you smell nice, you're well manicured, well looked after, respectful, well mannered, polite, got charisma. You do all that so that you become attractive.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, and you
do
get
it for yourself as well.
You get self-esteem from
of
it
course,
too.
of course.
But you can make the argument like, do you get self-esteem? Like, is your brain rewarding you with self-esteem because it knows that it'll get you laid?
yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
wow, yeah.
I think maybe that's the answer biologically. Like,
It wouldn't make sense biologically.
like
Yeah.
I feel good about myself when I build up resources, when I work out, when I'm strong, when I'm influential, because subconsciously I know this is going to improve my chances of procreation.
That's
Do
so
you also
true.
think it helps with bringing male dominance as well? So like you know that your peers will respect you because you are this kind of
level of guy.
level of man, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So do you reckon it's both?
Yes. Yeah, you'll definitely like the idea of like wanting approval of other men is pretty innate.
Do you reckon that's across all species or just?
It's across all societies. It's universal across every society.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And just to circle back to the monogamy question while we're talking about worldwide and species and stuff, there is certain creatures on Earth that are programmed genetically to be monogamous. Would you agree?
Yes,
Like
they
birds and stuff?
definitely are. Yeah, 100% are. Yeah.
And you're just saying that humans aren't.
Well, humans aren't. Here's another really interesting biological fact. The shape of the penis literally proves that we're not like monogamous.
Explain.
So the glands of the penis, the head of the penis, is basically like a plunger for the vagina. So it's designed to it sucks sperm out of the vagina that's already in there.
No way.
Yeah, that's the way the glands is designed. If there's already semen in her vagina, it'll pull it out.
Is this a fact?
It's a fact.
I never knew that.
Before you inject your semen into it,
That's insane.
the penis wouldn't have evolved that way if it didn't need to.
Even if it's small.
Even if it's tiny.
What's your point?
Even if it's tiny.
No, I was flexing.
What about me, bro? I nearly said something then. I nearly said something then. I'm really about to cut that right
dear.
out.
You couldn't let that one slip.
No, just had to
jump
give
on
it to
it.
the bro. I feel like nowadays though, like we live in abundance of everything when it comes to food, money, women especially, and dating apps I think has played a massive part in that.
Yeah.
So do you think the fact that we have access to these apps in modern day dating, it's actually ruined people in the long term when they're trying to find a long term partner?
Yeah, well, because it's turned dating into like a global market.
Mm.
Yeah. So, like, you know, there's the average bloke is competing with like you didn't used to compete with everybody in your country or everyone in your city before.
True.
You competed with the bloke in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
the bloke
so
at your school,
true.
Wow, yeah.
The bloke at your pub. Like that's who you were competing against when it came to like attracting a woman.
Yeah.
Now you got to compete with everybody.
She actually has access to guys in other countries.
Now they don't like they're not, and obviously not every woman is doing this.
Yeah.
Right? But in general, I mean, this is. But again, if you could take the most average-looking woman and create a profile for her on a dating app, and just do it as an experiment. If you're watching, you don't believe this shit, just make one yourself.
Yeah.
Like and just swipe. Like you'll get infinite matches.
Yeah.
As an average woman.
Yeah.
Like,
I swear they say on dating apps like only 5% of men actually get.
I don't know if it's. I don't know what percentages,
It's
but it's a
tiny.
tiny percentage of them
Tiny percentage.
will get good swipes. Yeah. And even then, like dating apps are like hackable. Like you just need someone who can take a good photo of you.
Yeah.
Like most guys aren't ugly. Like everyone talks about like, you know, needing to be tall and having a chiseled jawline or whatever the fuck. Like every guy can make themselves look
Yeah, I
good,
agree.
like make himself attractive enough.
Yeah.
And like by dressing well,
Mhm.
like maybe getting a tan, like adding a bit of muscle on them, like are those things that take a bit long term. But just having a friend who's a good fucking photographer
Yeah.
Yeah,
will take you from like a 4 to a 7.
It's so true.
Yeah, it's very
It's
true.
simple, like, and it's just like whenever I get a guy like asking me like how do I get better at dating apps, the thing I tell them is go on to like Airbnb experiences, find a photographer in your city, like get about 3 or 5 different outfits, and spend the weekend with just do like a whole day or two with your boys, doing a bunch of different activities, and just have that photographer follow you around all day, hide in the bushes taking photos.
Yeah.
Crazy, so true.
Not fucking like
Yeah.
taking it. Not you looking at the camera.
Candid.
Candid,
Hide in the
yeah.
bush.
Yeah.
Hide in the bush and take candid shots of you and your boys laughing and having a great time. You will get the best profile photos you'll ever need for the rest of your life.
That's so true. That's great.
You can do that in
advice.
like a day.
Most
Yeah.
guys are scared to do that though. Like my friends back in the day would never. I would say, "Can you to get a photo of me? I like my outfit." They'll be like, "No, it's gay. Don't want to do that."
Yeah, because it's like it's gay. Like,
Yeah.
but well, it is a bit gay, but it's just.
Well, it's gonna get me single, that's what I want.
But it'll get you birds.
Yeah, exactly. Get us on rally. That's what we want.
But you gotta do, if you do it back for them, like then
Yeah.
well, that's what I found. Like if you and your boys like kind of understand that the reason why you're doing it, and you're both doing it for each other, you get better at like taking photos. You understand like photo aesthetics. It makes life easier.
True.
But if you hired like a photographer for all your boys for one day, and they all got the photos, like
They're gonna love it.
We
Yeah.
just do it amongst ourselves.
yeah,
anyway,
no, you
so
guys
we
know
get
what you're
good
doing,
photos.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like it makes sense. You guys know what you're doing. But if you just if you're the one who wants to get his profile better, and
Right.
your mates don't give a fuck, just do it for him anyway. And
Yeah.
then
True.
and then afterwards be like, hey, look how better my dating profile is doing. Here's the
True.
photos we got of you,
Yeah.
and then see how he reacts to it.
It's great advice for
I'm
the
banned
viewers.
off them anyway, so I can't use it, so it's all good. I've got a question though. So nowadays, like men do everything to look the part, but when they're out and about, they don't know how to speak to a woman. I see it all the time. They're too scared. They can't approach them.
Right.
They just
Scared of
don't
being
have
rejected.
the chat, wherever it may be. They just don't have the chat. You walk into a bar, you see a woman you like. What are you saying? Like, how are you approaching that situation, and what can you say to men to be able to actually be better in those situations
question.
when they're out and about?
Yeah, I mean, it would, like I only ever used like 2 lines, and one was like if it was a group of girls having a good time, I'll just walk up and be like, "You guys are having way too much fun over here. I'm gonna get the bouncer." Like basically tell them to shut the fuck up, but like in a funny way.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
like it just breaks the ice.
Yeah, cool.
The other one is like if you're just like this works for guys who are actually really socially awkward, and you just go up and be like, "Look, this is super weird, but I'd be kicking myself for the rest of the day if it didn't come say hi."
Yeah. Nice.
Because like you're calling out the fact that you're like
Approaching.
You're calling out the fact that you're approaching. That it's like kind of awkward and weird and whatever. And like if you're a nervous guy and you're doing that, it actually like the congruency like gets rid of
Takes the
nerves.
awkwardness
Yeah.
away.
Yeah,
yeah.
Rather than trying to come up with like some fucking
Cheesy
super,
chat-up
super
line.
charming like line. Like I got friends who are incredibly charming and quick-witted and smart, and they will say like they'll come out with like they'll just naturally
One-liners.
come out with bangers.
Yeah.
But if you can't do that, then it's better
Play
to
it safe.
it's better to
Yeah.
just be like congruent.
Yeah. Address it.
Because if you're not, because like the idea of like being congruent is like your thoughts, your words, and your actions are kind of like in alignment. They're expressing the same emotion, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not congruent, that's what women perceive as creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the dude who's creepy is the guy who's like walking up to them like he's going to approach them, but then just like stands there awkwardly staring at them, right? Because
Yeah.
there's an incongruence, right? He's
looking at.
acting one way, but he's thinking something else.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so that is what equals creepy, is that incongruency. So if you just, even if you are nervous, if you're congruent with it,
Yeah.
it's way better.
I agree.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Just the elephant in the room. Straight up.
Have you seen that meme? After you've had a few drinks, me walking up to a pack of MILFs asking whose 25th birthday it is.
Why can I see that being Taylor?
That's such a good line. I was like, whose 25th birthday?
Yeah.
That's good.
That'd be a good icebreaker.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what though, like that of all, like if there's a common trait between like me and a few of my mates, it's that when we're like in our early 20s, we were hitting on MILFs.
Yeah,
Really?
facts, yeah.
It was like that was the training wheels.
The training.
But why?
wheels.
Why is that? Because it's an easier kill.
Yeah, it's also like, and they're like, it's positive reinforcement because they're happy that you're hitting on them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So you're getting you're subconsciously, and I wasn't really aware of this at the time, but looking back on it now,
Yeah, of course.
like I'm subconsciously programming myself like the positive reinforcement loop of like talk to woman equals good feelings.
And you're getting XP whilst doing it.
Yeah. Versus like talk to the 20-year-old bird who's might be a bit stuck up and I'm not good enough. She thinks I'm not good enough for her or whatever, right? It's like negative reinforcement off the bat. Now you can have a laugh with it and fuck around. Cool. You can shrug it off and go on to the next one.
Yeah.
But with like the MILFs at a young age, it was just like you get that like you get the chat going and she's like into it. It's like fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. You know what I mean? You just feed your ego.
It's true. That's good.
True,
So
man.
it works.
So boys get your XP up by speaking to MILFs.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
if you're
facts.
young, man, like it'll work.
Quick sidestep. Do you think it's delusional for men to want a virgin wife in this day and age?
Bro. I don't know where these guys are gonna think they're going to find them.
Yeah, that's probably the
Singapore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just go
That's
to
not the modern world, though.
No, just go to Asia or something.
I meant like Western society.
I don't even want her to like discover what iPhones are yet.
Oh, for
Get a
God's
Nokia.
sake.
Right.
Fuck's sake.
I was going to say such
mean,
a
that's
racist joke then, but I decided not to.
I'm joking, but you know, piss people off.
Yeah, it's like maybe this is just from me being on Twitter too much, but you just see a lot of guys in the comments saying things like, oh, "Unless she's a virgin, you don't marry her." It's like, bro, like, where are you going to find this mythical virgin? Like, what is your game plan? Like, I'm genuinely on. Like, I want to hear what your game plan is for finding this mythical virgin. First of all, like, where the hell do you live? Like, first of all, like, are you in a Western country? Because the only virgins that you're going to find in, like, let's say America as an example, the only ones you're going to find are in these sort of very tight-knit, insular, like, religious communities.
Yeah.
Like, they do exist. They do exist in America.
Of course.
But you have to be in that clique. You know, maybe you have to be Amish or whatever.
That's what I was trying to think of. I was trying to think Amish
I mean,
communities.
they're not just in the Amish, but they do exist elsewhere.
yeah.
But that's just an extreme example, right?
Yeah.
And the same, like, in, like, Eastern Europe, you got to go for, like, the village girl.
Yeah.
Right? Like in Australia, like it's way harder. We're one of the most promiscuous Western countries on earth.
We found that in Bali.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like they go wild.
And
Like,
Australia.
And Australia.
And Australia.
They go wild.
I guess we're going to Australia again.
It's not hard to lose your virginity in Australia. But yeah, it's a game of practicality because it's also like you're never going to know she's a virgin
Yeah.
for a start. Women lie,
Yeah.
especially
I was
about
gonna ask you
especially
that.
about body count. They
Yep.
and what like okay, is she a virgin? She might be a virgin, but she's sucked like 10 dicks. So, which is better? One sleeping with one guy or sucking 10 dudes? Which one is worse?
I would say the intentions behind what they've done is more important to me.
Yes.
Right.
Like if she's seeing someone, and naturally, so like you said, we go from one relationship to another, it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
That to me is more appealing than a woman that has just slipped around for the sake of it.
Or
Precisely.
sucking loads of dicks.
Precisely.
Well, at least she's going to be good at it.
Well,
We know when she's too good at it. You know when she's too good at you're too good at this. I'm not too
Have you
sure.
learned this?
Keep going, but I'm not too
I didn't say
sure.
stop.
I didn't say stop.
I'm leaving a
Why have
good
you got
Google
a
review.
confused look on your face, bro? It's like, no, don't worry. Just saying,
Fuck's sake.
this is too good to be true.
Yeah, well, that's kind of my point. It's like you're never gonna know the actual number, right? And then the real, honest to God, important thing is how does she view you? Like,
Yeah.
is she compliant and submissive to you? Because that implies that she sees you as her best option,
Yeah.
which is where you want to be. Now that is harder if she's had like more partners and especially more casual partners. That becomes much harder for her to like instinctually like view you as her best option. Because even if she, not consciously but subconsciously, there's like this doubt in her mind. It's like, oh, there was that guy, there was that guy, there was that guy, there was that guy.
Yeah,
Like,
fuck that.
you know. So it really comes down to like how much she respects you.
Yeah.
You know.
Two-part question here. One, why do you feel as though there is such a difference between the fact that obviously men can sleep around and then that's admirable by women, and then men want a woman who hasn't slept around? And two, do you feel as though in today's day and age that a woman's body count is important?
Well, it's always going to be important. Like whether you want to accept it or not, like instinctually you're going to react to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's in your biology. You're going to like feel something.
Yeah.
Like if you ask any bloke who's like been with his missus who thought she was like, you know, a princess, and then he finds out something about her, from her past, like he's feeling something instinctually.
Even though it's before him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Even though
true.
it's before him. So it's you can't like stop that. Like that is in you. That's innate. That's biology, right?
Yeah.
And then the idea of like men, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say that like men get like rewarded, you know, pedestalized or rewarded or whatever for like sleeping around and stuff. It's more that women are rewarding men for sleeping around by sleeping with them again. Women are the ones doing it. Like, the boys, like, you know, you get respect from men for being a man who's attracted to women. That is true.
Yeah.
But ultimately, women are the ones rewarding the blokes for being sluts.
Yeah.
Women are the ones that are giving it to them again and again.
I just think it comes down to preference. I just don't think they care. It's just different.
They don't care.
It's a difference of preference. Like, I use this example a lot. Me and Merck, we bumped into this girl in Shoreditch, and she was like, "I know you. You're on that podcast, so you just sleep around with a lot of women, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah. Well, can I have your Instagram?" She's like, "I already follow you." I'm like, "Oh, okay then. So, can I take your number then?" Yeah, cool. So, all right. Well, you've just told me that
She's like called you out almost.
She's testing him.
Yeah.
She's testing him to try and call him
I
out.
just like lean into it.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, there's a reason why they want me, sweetheart. Do you? Yeah, you do. Well, I'm on a ball. Like, I don't blame you.
It's a good response.
Yeah, well, you just got to lean into it, in my opinion.
Lean into everything, man.
Yeah, because it's like that's just a basic shit test. It's just like, you know, she's poking him to see like, are you actually who I think you are? Like,
Yeah. So is it all a facade almost?
Yeah, exactly. Is it all a lie?
You know, like at the moment, there's like an argument to say like the more successful a man get, the more options he has.
Yeah.
Would you say the more successful a woman gets, the less hers get because she's looking for a man that is on her level, if not higher, and a higher status in regard than her?
I mean, I know that that's a fact because I've been with women like that.
Really?
It gets harder and harder for them to find a man that meets their own standards. Because I forget who said this. It might have been Rollo Tomasi who said it, but women like have become the man that they were trying to.
Yeah.
Wow.
So true.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's Rollo Tomasi because it's like a woman becomes a lawyer because she wants to date a lawyer. You know, like she goes down this path like thinking that that's the way that she's going to get that she's going to marry that guy. But in the end, like
becomes it herself.
Well, she spends 4, 5, however many years down that career path, studying or whatever, getting into law school, getting into a law firm. Okay, cool, she's made it. Where's the husband?
Yeah.
Oh, he's with the secretary over here, like the 18-year-old. It's like
So true.
they've been fed a fucking. Like, I feel sorry for women because they've been fed this complete horseshit their whole fucking life.
In what sense?
In the regards that like, get a career and then you'll find the man of your dreams. But that's not really true. Like the more if you dedicate your life to like a career, to a boss who doesn't give a fuck about you and who can replace you like that, where like you are foregoing like years of having a big happy family at a young age.
So what do you believe in today's day and age women should be concentrating on? Fundamentally.
In the West, having fucking kids.
That's what
wow.
makes them happier about
Like
it.
when
Statistically, it's proven.
Like the birth rate's massively declining.
Yeah,
We
massively.
need to have more children.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
That's a fact. Like,
Yeah.
simple. Especially in Australia, in England, in Canada, in
And America.
France,
America's massive
Germany,
drop.
Italy.
Basically every European country.
Yeah.
We need to, or like a European colony. We need to just have more kids. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. That is the most important thing.
Don't you feel like this is like a man problem though? Because going back to my question, is because women had to level up and become their own, become the man that they're looking for, because men are just like not up to that standard anymore. Like men can't take care of their women, they can't lead, they're too soft, they're too feminine.
Yeah.
So it's like, did they not have a choice but to level up? Because in some cases as well, men will use money as power and control their women. So I think that's wrong. You should lead with it, but not like manipulate your woman to stay in a relationship because you hold the finances. So do you think like they had to kind of level up themselves to get rid of that?
I mean, it's a bit of a chicken and egg argument because it's like, once you let women into the workforce, then the wages men could make and how their level of ability to provide goes down.
Okay.
Right? Because then
It's all equal.
you're taking with one hand and adding with the other. You know?
Yeah, I understand.
So that gets to be a bit of a chicken and egg argument. Which came first, like women in the workforce, or like women's suffrage, right? Or men becoming like less empowered and weaker. Like if you take away a man's ability, men want to be like useful fundamentally.
Yeah,
like
so,
it's kind of an innate thing.
Instinct.
It's when you feel at best, isn't it? When you're able to provide and
If
look
you're
after.
providing, you feel
good.
confident, right?
Yeah.
So if you take away a man's ability to provide for a family, he feels less confident and less capable.
facts.
Yeah,
You know,
emasculating.
so he's going to present less masculine, right?
Energy, yeah.
Objectively to women.
Yeah,
So
facts.
it is a bit of a, it's like kind of, it's a bit hard to say like which came first, you know?
That's why I fucking hate it, mate, when girls say I don't need a man and stuff like that. That is one thing that really grinds my fucking gears.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
you
been
don't need a
woman say
man.
that.
You don't need a man until you need to call the police.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you need a cupboard fixed or
Well,
Shelf putting up.
yeah, so
yeah.
lift that big old heavy case up there. Yeah, that's it. Do you know what I mean? Someone breaking in, are they? You go fight them, babe. Go on.
yeah, it's
I hate it.
Well, someone said, I don't know who it was. It might have been Tate, it might have been someone else, but it said all these rights and things that women have nowadays are enforced by men.
yeah, it's true. That's completely. It's enforced by violence.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Like, we will go and fight for your rights. Not
Yeah.
the women won't go fight for
We're
the
not
rights.
going for
the
war.
men will go fight. When the people invade us, we're fighting for your right to be safe. So we will go
Yeah,
fight the war.
facts.
There
Yeah.
might
that
have
you
been
said you don't
Andrew.
need.
There might have been Andrew Wilson, I think, who said that on the whatever podcast.
Who was it, sorry?
It might have been Andrew Wilson.
All right.
I think.
Yeah.
But that's the concept is correct. Like every single right that a woman has is enforced by through violence by men.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an you just break it. It's an undeniable fact.
And that's what's crazy as well, because I never hear men say, I don't need a woman, or we don't need women. Like,
Yeah.
we love them. We wouldn't be the men we are without them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's because women have been, especially any woman that goes through like a liberal university degree, is pretty much indoctrinated. I mean, even outside of that, they're pretty much indoctrinated from day one that, like, you know, the things you hear all the time, like you don't need no man, like men are pigs, all men are rapists in disguise, just waiting to be sexual.
That's crazy, man.
Sexual harassers or whatever. And it's just like women are quite impressionable.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
They are quite impressionable. So if you just bombard them with enough propaganda,
They believe it.
Eventually they believe the lie, irrespective of what their real world experience tells them.
Sad that.
Yeah, it's very sad.
There is some horrendous men though. Like the amount of times we've like sometimes spoken to women and be like, I went on a date and he did this, that, and that, and you're like, fucking hell. There's some guys that are really like
Really
pulling
weird.
us down. Do you know what I mean?
But then
They I think a lot of that comes down to their like that incongruency thing. They're coming across as really creepy or really whatever because they just don't. No one's taught guys how to like
Yeah,
be
true.
charming.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like this, like you'll expect, like from day one, you're just expected to know how to flirt. You're expected to know how to make a relationship work. You're expected to know how to fuck properly.
Yeah.
Like all these things that are said, like they're just expected of dudes, and no one like if you need help picking up chicks, oh, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Like
It's
you know,
true,
oh,
yeah.
you want need you don't want to let him start a business. You want some self help. Oh, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Like we just push men down for
Yeah,
trying
so
to
true.
actually be better all the time.
yeah, so
You
true.
know, it's not this thing of like it's not the glorified,
Yeah.
but it's in you need it. Guys need self development and self improvement.
Yeah,
I agree.
100%.
So that's exactly why we started the right side.
Yeah,
Our community.
That's
100%.
That's the reason we started the pod.
Very
That's the reason why we
much,
started the pod, yeah. I'm conscious of time, but I'll end on one question. If you had one piece of advice you'd give it to any young man, what would it be?
In regards to anything in particular,
Yeah, one proper
maybe,
key
maybe
piece.
your niche if you want.
don't watch porn, mate.
No, that's it, yeah.
literally what I said on the last pod, didn't I?
I'll tell you, I'll rephrase that question a little bit. If you was to give one piece of advice for, that I could use. I'll bring that in. I'll bring
Don't
it
worry
in.
about me, bro.
One to your younger self, but in leaning towards for a man, one thing he can start doing in order to start leveling up. What can he start doing?
Find mentors. Find mentors
Sick.
at a younger age. Like find guys who like my thing growing up, right? I'm from Western Australia, the most isolated like capital city in the world is Perth. Like and I wasn't from the Perth, I'm from like a even smaller place. Like I didn't know about like self-improvement. I didn't know about entrepreneurship. These concepts were like foreign concepts to me that I only really discovered in my mid-20s. Like that's how isolated I was. And so, but now everyone has the fucking internet. Everyone has access to that. Everyone knows that. Like, so you can find somebody who is like where you want to be, who has gone through the same process you went through, or you will go through, who's gone through the same journey you want to go through. So find a mentor and shortcut that learning time. Because there's guys like, I see guys in their early 20s now who are just kicking so much ass.
We know a few in our
Yeah.
community.
Right? And I'm like,
Smashing life.
if I had the knowledge that person has and the mentorship that person has
At that age.
by that age,
Yeah.
I'd be miles ahead of where I am.
Yeah, same as that. Same as that.
All of us the same.
So in a way, like like things are worse off, but things are also better off.
That's why we've become. I was having this conversation yesterday with somebody. I was like, we've basically become, or trying to be, whatever people might think of us, the people that really know us properly and the boys that follow us, we've essentially become the people we wish we had when we were younger.
Completely.
That's
100%.
what we've become.
Yes.
100 million %.
That's what I'm saying.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
38.
You're 38.
Yeah.
What would you say you've seen? What would you say is the biggest change in yourself from your early 20s up until right now? Like the biggest change yourself from going from a boy to a man?
Competency.
Yeah.
I'm competent in a lot more things. Like, and that just came from
Life experience.
but failing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
You learn our lesson. You learn your lessons through failing.
One of my early mentors, a guy called Craig Ballantyne, he has this saying was fail forward fast.
Yeah.
It was I learned that in my mid-20s, and it was like, okay, I got it.
So just do shit and figure it out along the way.
Just figure out, like, no one knows what the fuck they're doing.
Everyone's
Like, everyone, like, yeah, like,
what we say. No one knows what they're
no one
doing.
knows what they're doing. Like, and I had this. So my cousin, he's a couple of years older than me, and he hit me up last year. Like I'm not going to name his name. Obviously, don't want to, talk shit about family. But he was like worried about his finances. His dad like had some financial issues or whatever, and he saw that I was doing quite well, and he's like hit me up. He's like, I just need some help. Like, what should I be doing? I'm like, cool. Like, gave him some advice and stuff. And it was like, a lot of people who have never even taken like the first step towards like building a business, building themselves up or whatever, any kind of self-improvement at all, they're so worried about this like first step, like thinking they have to have like all their ducks in a row, like perfectly from step one to step infinity. It's like, just do something.
Just start.
Anything.
Yeah, we say
Do
this.
anything first.
Just get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Just start.
100 million %.
And you it's okay to like trust your own instinct. Like people don't necessarily have all the answers for you, even if like they've done what you are trying to do. They've run a successful business, or whatever. Like they might not have the perfect answer for your situation.
Yeah.
So it's okay to like trust your own instincts.
True.
But you only get that by trying.
Even if
Yeah,
it's the wrong
facts.
decision to make, it was yours in the first place.
And that's another thing. I'm sorry to give you
No,
super
you're
long
all right.
answer
We're
to, like, a
fine.
really
Yeah,
quick
I
question.
like it.
We're in no rush.
But there's someone reminded me of this really good quote from Starship Troopers. If you've ever seen that
Yeah,
movie.
great movie.
At the very
Old though.
It is
course
in
you've
all-
seen
it's
it.
in
Of course you've seen
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Movie Final Boss.
But old movie, but a classic.
But
Oh, yeah, cool.
the beginning of it, there's a really good quote, which is like one of the few freedoms we have in this world is the ability to make decisions for ourselves. I'm probably bastardizing the quote, but it's something to that effect. Like,
Yeah.
one of the few things you get to control is your decisions. So, like, stop, because I get lots of guys asking me questions about, like, here's my situation with, like, my girlfriend or whatever. Like, what should I do? Should I marry this girl? Should I not marry this girl? Should I, like... And it's like, mate, it's your life. Like, you get to just... Like, don't let me decide your,
Wow,
Yeah.
I
story.
advise you, but
Yeah, but like you need to you'll have more confidence in yourself by making your own decisions.
Yeah, facts.
Because even if you fuck up, even if it ends up being the wrong decision, you're gonna understand why.
Yeah,
You won't be able to then like project that wrongness onto me.
yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
You'll be like, here's why it was the wrong decision. But if it goes right, it's like you have more faith in yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
So why would I rob you of that?
Yeah.
Why would I rob
So
you of
true,
the ability
man.
to develop that self-esteem and confidence by making the decision for you? You should make it for
So I
yourself.
feel like this is a cultural thing as well, though, because you see it in Asian families and certain cultures where they try to force their kids to go down a certain route, whether it's job, relationship, whatever it may be, and them kids end up like doing exactly that, and maybe even making the money that their parents wanted them to do, go down that route, but then they end up resenting them because
And they're not
they lived the
happy.
life that they didn't want to live.
Yeah.
So again, if it's a decision you're making, whether it's right or wrong, it's yours to make.
Yeah,
completely.
me and you were talking in the car, and we say it all the time, but you are one decision away from a completely different life.
Yeah.
Oh, completely, 100%. Yeah.
One choice from literally. It's like, what is it? If a ship, or if a plane. Sorry, when a plane has got its coordinates. Thank you. Its coordinates to be going somewhere. If it's at 0.1 off track, it'll end up on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
Like you are one decision just from going somewhere else completely.
Would you have ever thought that you'd be up? Would you have ever thought that you'd be where you are today?
God no,
No.
not a chance. No, bro.
That's amazing.
No, bro.
What is the future?
I'm blown away by where I'm at. I'm like, how the fuck did I get here?
Well, I'm on a rooftop in London.
What the fuck's going on, bro?
With four other degenerates.
What's going on? People want to listen to what I have to say. What the fuck's going on? What happened to the
What's
world?
the future plans for you from now, though, bro? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, where are you trying to go? I mean, and where can
what's
people
the goal?
reach out to you, though,
Yeah.
as well? If that's
StirlingCooper.com is where you can find like everything. All my socials are related to that as well. Right, the big project for the next like year is focusing on actually like advice for women.
Oh wow,
women,
nice.
like, because I've been getting lots of DMs over the last year from women who are like my husband or my boyfriend like has studied your material and he's kicking ass in the bedroom. What can I like? But then the girl's like, what can I do to be better for him?
Wow.
I'm
Nice.
actually
Yeah,
I'm getting a
nice. I like that.
surprising number of messages like
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah, you wouldn't have expected
Yeah.
that. So now I'm sort of trying to dissect, because it's easy for me to solve like the guys
problem,
side of things
yeah.
because I have a penis.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's hard. Right. So it's,
brown one.
Oh, congratulations. Like,
Just like a brown one.
Well, he's got more balls than dick, just to let you know. So
Thanks for letting him know that. innit?
but it's harder for me to get into like the psyche of like from the female perspective is like, how can she be better for her man? So that's like it's a fun like psychological game I have to like play around with to try and solve the problem from the other side.
Yeah,
And
it's cool.
It's an exciting challenge. So that's what I'm focusing on for the next year.
In a weird backward kind of way, that's going to then teach you a hell of a lot more than what you already knew about how to treat women because they're letting you into their psyche.
Completely.
That's sick.
Yeah. So and it means I can help twice as many people.
That's cool, man. We love that.
Yeah.
Love that, man.
what's the? I'll end it on one last question. Obviously, we're talking about women. We're talking about relationships. What's the one or the biggest advice you can give to men to be better in the bedroom?
Think of sex as a reward for her, not a reward for you.
Yeah.
A lot of like the sort of the default perception of sex is that it's like something that the women give to the man, like it's a reward for being a good boy. You know, like he behaves, he gets his birthday blowjob, whatever the fuck, right? If you start to perceive sex as actually it's a reward for her, and you can like using it as such in the relationship, like rewarding compliant or good behavior you like. She acted right, she gets an orgasm. You know, if you start to understand that is the power of sex, it's actually something that you give to her, you'll start to I think your dynamic of sex will shift. Like the mental dynamic you approach to sex will completely shift, and that will inevitably lead you to be more of a leader in the bedroom. You'll be more dominant, more masculine, more passionate, right? When you perceive things that way, you're being active, not passive and receive. You're being a proactive participant in sex that way.
Yeah,
So,
makes sense.
Yeah, it's more of a psychological, not like a physical thing.
I'm
It's more
with
of a
you.
psychological
No,
thing.
that makes complete sense.
That in and of itself has the power to like completely change a relationship and
Love
save
that.
a marriage.
Well,
Sick.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Thank you very much, man.
Write that down, Merc.
I know,
You need it. Merc's quite selfish in the bedroom, you see. He's like
only with the ones I don't like.
Yeah, well, no.
That's all of them then. So, brother, it was a pleasure
Yes,
having you on.
yeah.
Thank you
Absolute
very much for
pleasure,
joining
yeah.
us on the Graft Kings podcast.
Pleasure.
Cheers, lads.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
That was a pleasure,
Appreciate
man.
ya.
That was
Pleasure.
great. Appreciate it.
And if you guys have made it this far, please like, subscribe.
Leave a comment in the comment section.
And we'll see you on the next rooftop, people.
Peace.